Hello everybody, I'm going to be making a video explaining how I made Hamster Song Remix. If you haven't heard it, it's probably on Spotify by the time this video is released, so link will be in description for that. But yeah, let's start. So the first thing I did is obviously I pulled in the original song. There's a compressor on it for some reason. Oh no, I know why there's a compressor on it, I'll get to that later. So I had the stems, but what was annoying about the stems is there was a bit of silence which put everything off with the stuff I was adding. So I had to bounce all of these down into one audio file and then cut off the silence so it was all in time. So yeah, this is just the original song. And then what I did is I added the vocals again. This one is completely just unchanged. It's just spit out my hamster. The original. This is spit out my hamster. This lower version, but I added an EQ on it to boost the bass a bit, just to give the low end a bit more warmth, which is quite nice. And then yeah, the vocals, that's what this are, because you know, without these extra tracks, it doesn't, you can't really hear the vocals, but with them, it's like really, you can hear it a lot more. So when I first, that's actually really annoying. Give me a minute. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, what I originally wanted from this track, I knew I wanted it to be liquid D&B, because when I first heard the song, I was like, this is a really sick song. I kind of want to make it liquid D&B. So first thing I knew I had to add was a breakbeat, but I'll get to that later. The first thing I actually added was this, these chords here. I'll turn off all the effects so you can just hear the bass. It's just like this I made with Vital. Yeah, because I know I wanted it to have like a swelly effect on the chords. If you're wondering what this is, by the way, it's, I used Ableton's convert stuff to melody and all that to get that. This isn't actually playing anything, but yeah. And then if I added Valhalla Supermassive, which is a really nice reverb and it's free, so I recommend getting that if you're in the market for some reverb. And then some wider, just to make it wider. The second thing I added, I think, is this respace, which if you look at this is just opening a filter on it. So it goes from like filter did the beginning, and then at the drop, or like the climax, the filter's completely open, which gives it a really gritty tone. I knew I wanted a think break. This is a think break. If you've not heard one before, let me turn off the effects. It's like the most common, one of the most common breakbeats in any drum and bass song. You've probably heard it, and you'll probably hear it a billion times if you listen to D&B. And if you actually listen for it, you can hear it. And I just added like a phaser on top of it, with some wider and supermassive as well, which gives it like a weird sound, which I think sounded really cool. Next thing I added, this is just a kick drum, but it's not actually used. I've turned it off here, because I need it for the side chaining, which is what the compressor on this was. Side chaining. So that's what this is for. But the main breakbeat is just this breakbeat I found. At the beginning, it's more like a shaker, because I have EQ on it, which cuts off all of the low end. I also have a saturator on it to give it a bit more crunch and substance, and then I added an EQ which boosts the bass, because it needed a bit more kick to the kick. But that opens up here, the filter here, which leads into the first like drop. That's basically the whole song. I added the liquid D&B piano, so just like a, I don't know what you call that, a glide with a load of reverb on it. I was gonna have it like on the beat, but it just sounded like, as you see it, like it leads into the beat, but it isn't on the beat. But it sounded weird on the beat, so I added it a bit before, and it sounds like really nice with that. Yeah, and then this is just a little bit of texture added. It's the, if I turn off all the effects on it, Right, so yeah, here we have.
Spit out my hamster, you
it's just the same as this, except I removed the EQ on the bottom. Added a redux, so it's like crunchier and sounds like it's coming out of, like it's really low bit rate.
Spit out my hamster, you stupid fucking hoe.
Added a telephone vocal to like make it sound more compressed.
Spit out my hamster, you stupid fucking hoe.
Added a saturator to give it like more crunch and substance.
Spit out my hamster, you stupid fucking hoe.
And then lastly, I vocoded it to the respace, which gives it a really like robotic but also like crunchy sound. And then just a limiter. The main track here, the percussion that's used in this is really nice for percussion in the remix. Like the claps and stuff fit in really well with everything else. But that's basically the song. The last thing I did with this riser here, which is literally just a noise. This isn't actually sidechaining. It's sidechained with the rest of the group, but it already has like a volume thing here, as you can see. But yeah. Last thing I wanted to add is I wanted the song to like trail off after the end of the regular song. And that just means it just like trails off nicely, and you can fade it out as well, which sounds like this. It's just the beat by itself, and then it fades off. But yeah, it's a really pretty simple track actually. I was expecting this to be a bit longer than it was, but yeah, that is the remix of Hampter.